Hello, English 180. This is a quick demo video. I'm going to be demonstrating a couple of quick and easy tricks that you can do within Audacity if you are recording some voiceover into your phone and you want to make it sound a little better using Audacity. So here is a recording that I made on my phone, and then I downloaded it to my computer, and now it's in Audacity. So all I did was just email it to myself and then dragged and dropped it from my downloads folder into this program, into Audacity. And let's listen to what it sounds like.
Hello, English 180. This is Dr. Clint. And right now I'm talking into my phone, but in a second I'm going to.
All right, so already I'm hearing that I think part of it was that I was speaking really close to the phone, and you can hear my breath on the microphone in my phone, sort of making this low wind sound. See if you can hear that. I'm really hearing it in this part of the recording, so see if you can hear that, what I'm talking about.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a second I'm going to.
So you can kind of hear me breathing through my nose, and you can also hear the bees that I speak popping on the microphone. Now, I could do two things. I could listen back to this and decide, oh, I should re-record and just move the microphone further away from my face. That's a good idea. Or let's say that I want to try to fix this within Audacity. What I'm about to do will not just help with the breath sounds on a voiceover, but it will also help if there's just some like noise in the room that you were recording, some sort of ambient noise in the background. This little trick actually helps a lot. There's no way to completely get rid of those breathy, the sounds of wind against a microphone or noise in a room. You can't completely get rid of it. But what you can do is reduce it. So what we're going to do to reduce that sound is we're going to use an equalizer. So I found this spot where I'm hearing most of it.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a second.
So that I'm hearing that sound that I want to get rid of really clearly in this section that I just highlighted. So I'm just going to highlight just this section. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can listen to just this section over and over again, and I don't have to listen to the whole thing as I'm testing in order to see if I'm actually getting rid of the sound that I want to get rid of. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight a section where there's the sound that I want to get rid of in my voiceover. And I'm going to go to the Effect menu. And I'm going to go to Filter Curve EQ. You could also use Graphic EQ too and do exactly the same thing. I think that the Filter Curve EQ is a little more intuitive, but they work the same way. So Filter Curve EQ. It may open with something like this, or probably will open with something like this, where the line is flat across the window, this like teal line. Now, what this line indicates is how much you're going to increase or decrease the volume of certain sounds, low, medium, and high. The 0 line that it's all on that the teal is going across right now means that the sounds there on the graph are not going to be increased or decreased. What I want to do is I want to decrease the volume of the low sounds, because I'm hearing those sounds in the recording come through as kind of low wind. So if I press preview down here, I can hear that exact part of the sound file that I selected.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a
So you hear how when I breathe through my nose, you hear a like a low wind sound. So that's the low sounds are on the left side of the graph. This is like low. This is like medium. This is like high. And this is very, very, very high over here. So the graph goes from left to right, low to high. It goes from bottom to top, no volume, to extreme amounts of volume. Okay? So in order to get these types of sounds out of here, also this trick will work if you've got room sound, like room noise, wind, or maybe like your air conditioning unit or something is making a noise. What I want you to do is just start here. Try this. Click on this teal line. Click on right at 200 hertz, right here where it says 200, right? All right, that's your first point on this line. I'm going to make a second point right at about 100 hertz. Okay. Now I'm going to drag down the point that I made at 100 hertz all the way down to the lowest it can go. So all of the sounds that are lower than 100 hertz are going to be removed from my vocal recording. All the sounds between 100 hertz and 200 hertz are going to slowly get louder until I get to 200 hertz, and here nothing is going to be changed. Okay? From 200 hertz up to the highest sound of the recording. Let's hear how that sounds.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a
So those breath sounds are still there, but what you can hear is that they're much less prevalent, and I can focus more on what the voice is saying rather than thinking about how it was recorded. So just as a quick comparison, I'm going to flatten it again.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a
And let's compare that with this.
I'm talking into my phone, but in a
So I think this, with the filter on, sounds much better. I think the words that I'm saying are much clearer, and I'm not distracted by uh, the extra loud breath sound on the microphone. I could continue to mess with it in here. For example, I could decide, oh, what happens if I increase some of these high sounds? Maybe I can get more of the S's and T's to come out. So what does that sound like?
I'm talking into my phone, but in a
So you can kind of mess with the shape that you're drawing here, whether you're increasing the high sounds, the middle sounds, or the low sounds, until you get a setting that you like. Now, before you click apply, don't click apply right away, because we've only selected one section of that, right? Because we wanted to hear the section that where it was most obvious, the problem that we're trying to remove. So I'm hoping that these settings will stay here for the next time I open this effect. I'm just going to cancel. I'm going to select the whole thing. So if I just double click on this file, it'll select the whole thing. Now, I'm going to go back to the filter curve EQ. Oh, and I didn't save my settings. Bummer. Well, so it's important for you then to just remember what your settings were. Write it down on a piece of paper. So what are my settings? I brought everything is at 0. I brought the volume down to nothing, up until 100. Then there's a line up to 0, and we get to 0 at 200. And then I think what I did is I just added a couple decibels from 1,000 to 2,000. Now I can apply this to the entire sound file. If I play back,
Hello, English 180. This is Dr. Clint. And right now I'm talking into my phone.
so the settings were applied to this entire sound, this entire waveform. Again, unfortunately, with Audacity, you kind of have to, remember your settings. Um, though you could select the entire waveform and just preview it that way, but I would recommend finding a section of the waveform that is most clearly what you want to filter out, and then just write down your settings, select the entire waveform, and apply your settings. You could also, if you're in this effect, you could save this as a preset. So save preset. You would name it, right? So you could say like, okay, okay. Now, if I were to now add the effect, okay, that's the way to do it. So I would save your preset, and then you can apply it to the entire waveform. Next, you can also mess around with Audacity to affect your voiceover in more uh, ways that present more of a narrative. So in this voiceover, let's listen to this up until a certain point.
And right now I'm talking into my phone. But in a second, I'm going to download this recorded audio.
So let's say that I want to change the sense of space for where I am, where my voice is, right when I say download, right? So I'm going to be in a different space. So,
I'm going to download.
and let's say I want to suddenly be in a really large room. So I'm going to select everything after this point so that right when I say download, it's going to sound like I all of a sudden switched to a different place. And I'm going to add reverb. Now, you can these are all settings. I would, rather than me describe what's going on with all these settings, I think it would what you should do is test it out. Just test it out and see what you think. So, okay, so that's a lot of reverb. Let's not let's we're going to have a mix of dry, which is my voice without reverb, and wet. So what reverb is it's just the sounds bouncing around a room.
Download this recorded audio onto my computer. Download this recorded audio onto my computer to demonstrate.
Okay. So, I'm just kind of messing with these levels.
Download this recorded audio onto my computer to demonstrate.
All right, so this gives me like, it sounds almost like I'm in a huge swimming pool. Fine, great. All right, so now what does this transition sound like?
I'm going to download this recorded audio onto my computer to demonstrate things you can do in Audacity.
Now, I could use that reverb for the entire waveform. I could use it for just certain points. Just some ideas for you on how to use Audacity to um, improve your voice over sound. See you guys later.